My favorite Quest shortcut is what I call the Johnny Slide. Again, avoiding a complex animation of Johnny coming to a sudden halt from a full turn, they would just slide a single cell of skidding Johnny into frame. Again, this really helped the storytelling. Johnny's slides were dramatic and stylized, and that was perfect for the tone of the show, and a good example of how sometimes a lack of money and time results in the creation of something cool and distinctive you wouldn't normally have thought of.
Johnny, swim for the hydrofoil!
The financial limitations of television animation and the somewhat limited resources of Hanna-Barbera's TV animation machine undercut Doug Wildey's idea of a moving comic strip. The magazine Television Chronicles may have said it best. The animation itself in Quest isn't anything to get excited about, but much of the artwork is of high quality. I think the magazine understates this, but they did get it right. Doug's enormous talent as an illustrator informs bits and pieces of every episode. You can easily pick out the shots. Because of their detail, there is little animation in them, but they are the core of the entire show, especially when Doug's sketches and designs were literally traced over and painted by the Hanna-Barbera team. Ironically, the first animation series he ever created would be what he is most remembered for in his 60-year career. Doug never understood the limitations of what we could do, Joe Barbera stated in an audio interview, alluding to the tension that continued to grow throughout the production. Doug concedes that he was new to the animation business and said time and time again that the hardest lesson he learned was that unlike writing and drawing his own comic strips, on television, people actually came and changed things you had created. It was just out of Doug's experience until it happened continuously on Johnny Quest. Doug says suddenly the thing got away from us all. He said once something starts going through the mill in a huge studio like Hanna-Barbera, you just can't hold it all together. The network just wasn't willing to put up the kind of money they really needed to create the artwork and animation necessary to make Quest the animated phenomenon they had advertised it would be. This is where the adventures of Johnny Quest, to Doug's idea, wasn't just a bold experiment, but a failed one. Because when artists who were hired for the Flintstones were suddenly assigned shots from Johnny Quest, the horrific Yetis created by the Quest designers sometimes looked like they came from Bedrock or Jellystone Park. Part of the problem, says Doug, was that he got so involved in the publicity push for the show that he was often forced to neglect the actual production of the episodes. The publicity department at Hanna-Barbera had created such a feeding frenzy for this amazing new program coming to ABC that Doug Wildey, creator and now suddenly spokesperson for the show, was spending more and more time doing interviews with giants of the time like Life magazine. Ironically, says Doug, the quality of the show was falling very short of what Doug wanted and what the studio was promising. So Doug, with the encouragement of the publicity department, started telling lies to the press to maintain the building excitement about the show. Ironically, if the show had been properly budgeted and its high standards for quality supported, some claim it really might have revolutionized TV animation and truly taken it to the next level.